All right, let's get into game number 1 of our grand finals for this week's KSL. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the one and only Dongray Gu. Bit of a surprise finalist here today. Did get a little bit lucky as we had Hero leave the bracket early, unfortunately. But also, didn't just get lucky as he had to face Beyond in the semis, but he took him out 2-0. DRG looking fantastic today. However, he is up against the #1 seed in the bracket. Somebody who's been on quite a roll recently, and he's been looking very, very strong. For talent, it's Dark. Dark, definitely a heavy favorite to win. However, I would say ZVZ is far and away his weakest matchup. And something I actually think we could see DRG win here. Like, as crazy as it is, this I have a tough time calling this one. I feel like DRG has beaten Dark in the past. Best of 5 might make it a little more complicated, but I don't know. I still have faith in DRG. This is one of those situations where I feel like if DRG was up against, I don't know, like, I was gonna say like Cure Oliveira, who were other potentials in this side of the bracket, but I mean, he beat Beyond, so I guess maybe DRG's just really good at the video game. Maybe that's all it is. But I'm excited for this one. If you are enjoying this KSL, please consider supporting, checking out our Patreon, checking out our Matcherino if you want to support this week's event. And while you're at it, you know, hit those follow and subscribe buttons on the channel. Make sure to check out the other casters as well. We have other people casting these games every single week. Steadfast almost always makes an appearance. Dave Testa is always casting as well. Usually we have the Cranky Ducklings casting. However, this week, Light of the Ducklings he's off traveling the world, globe-trotting, as it were. So he'll probably cast the replays of this over the next couple of days. Also, I didn't say thank you earlier to Flip a Flapjack for the 169 bits. Thank you so much for those bits. I hope you get to see Officer Bagel when he jumped up on the table, because that was very cute. All right, Dark, he's getting us off here. Wait, that's not what I meant to say. He's starting us off with some aggression, is what I was really going for there. Sometimes the words come out in the wrong order. Or maybe the right order, as we have a Roachborn going down as well. A bunch of Lings coming out. Ling speed already done for DRG, not quite done yet for Dark, because he was getting out all of these Zerglings. So DRG now wondering what's going on. You don't have a third base. You're very clearly walling off on 2 bases, but what is it for? We have an upgrade started. It is Carapace. So Dark is going to keep that upgrade going. Oh, and he's going to go push these Lings away, but the Lings are going to come back in. See a bunch of Zerglings coming out for Dark, and DRG realizes he needs to be at home defending, and uh-oh, he does not have a Bane nest, so no Banes back at home. I think he's just going to let this third get sacked. I think if you're Dark here, you kind of just go for the free third, right? You let that happen. DRG's going to try to force a cancel on this base on the other side of the map, but he's not quite going to get it. Loses the third. DRG so far, though, holding nicely in the natural. And oh, no!
Game paused.
We are witnessing some lag again. Our ping is fine. We haven't been having any issues. So hopefully we're good. As long as the player's ready to get back into it. We don't want to have that happen. Fortunately, there's no Banes here. That would be the worst scenario for lag. All right, we need to get this text off the screen So you can see what's going on here. The Lings are trying to poke in. Dark does have a Roach Warren, and he's got that Carapace coming, so he could get into Roaches, but it looks like he's going to not, instead opting to just kind of try to stop this third from going down, and the drone comes out, and it gets killed. Good target fire there from Dark, and he's going to be able to sneak away. Actually, yeah, it feels like he has more Lings here. He's going to go in and fight. Just a little bit of fighting back and forth. Now, it's worth noting, DRG put down a second Evo chamber, and he's going to use it. He's got +1 missile attacks and +1 Carapace on the way. So while Carapace will finish up for both of them at a relatively similar time, DRG is going to have a little bit of an advantage here. He's going to have about 20 seconds or so of having Carapace. Not the biggest deal in the world since Darks is about to finish, but he's going to get that missile attacks out. Nicely timed up with Roach speed. That's going to be really, really nice for DRG. He's going to have that quite a bit before Dark has anything. But Dark's not going for missile attacks. He's got the Roach one, but he's going for melee and a Bane Nest. And so it feels like Dark's just going to stick on Ling Bane. Which is kind of insane. Try to dive in on this third base. The Lings are coming back, though. So Dark going to pull back. Dark is up a couple of workers, but not a ton. DRG is going to get a scout on the Bane Nest. That's actually kind of a big scout because you don't need a Bane Nest here. Dark does not need a Bane Nest, which means Dark wants a Bane Nest. So what does Dark want a Bane Nest for? Ooh. Dark cancels the +1 melee. Cancels it, starts a +1 missile attacks. Now, it's an entire upgrade behind DRG. But that is very interesting. He's going to go back into Roaches instead. Because his Bane Nest was scouted, he's not going to go for a big all-in Ling Bane swell. Instead, he's going to drone up, going to get missile attacks, Roach speed. He's just going to play it out in a Roach v Roach. However, he's just kind of behind. Not particularly ideal right now for Dark. I think DRG just killed his own Roach. I really don't think he needed to do that either. That poor Roach. What did it do wrong? Ling's trying to catch some Lings. Those Lings are slippery, man. I don't like to get caught. I do like that DRG is going for the Burrow Tunneling Claws combo here. So he's going to try to get a little fancy with his Roaches. Dark's going to need to be very aware of those Burrow boys. It's funny, with how aggressive this game was earlier, it's gotten very quiet all of a sudden. While the players are macroing up a little bit. Ooh, Dark, he's going to utilize the Bane Nest. So I think if that Bane Nest had been scouted before it finished, he would have canceled it, but it was already done. So now he's going to try to utilize it, going for some Baneling drops, which is, I mean, that's a cute move, isn't it? We'll see if he can get anything done with it, get some Banes into the mineral lines here. There's a lot of vision for DRG, so I feel like that's going to be quite difficult. And that Overseer decided just to hold position in range of Queens. It's a ballsy move. But here goes DRG out with some burrowed Roaches. Overseer, there's an Overseer with the army for Dark. So there's a possibility he spots this pretty early. He could also spot the moving under the ground here. I mean, it feels so obvious when they're moving. Oh, but you know what wasn't obvious to DRG was that Bane drop. A lot of drones left on red hit points, but 10 drones going down. These burrowed Roaches waiting for the opportunity to strike in the meantime. It just looks so obvious. It looks so easy to see, especially compared to like other invisible units. The shimmer of DTs, so hard to see, and yet burrowed Roaches easy to see. I don't know where these overlords are going, but the roaches scout them. Dark just has like groups of overlords all around here. I feel like he has so many overlords. What? I guess they both do. Darks are just all out on the map in these little groups. Hydra Den is done for Dark though, so DRG might have to pull his overlords back soon. He's got his own Hydra Den finishing up as the hive starts for both players, and we're heading towards late game Zerg versus Zerg. In the meantime, DRG gonna put a little bit of pressure on, see if he can get some damage done here. Dark is split nicely, but DRG smartly fighting one side and then moving to fight the other instead of getting sandwiched there. Ooh, DRG gonna dive forward a little bit too far, I think. He's got to be real careful here, dropping some biles, but Dark decides to get on top of the army. I think Dark's taking a better fight here as he's pushing this army back. Yeah, this is really nice for Dark. He's going to take the army supply lead off the back of that, and DRG only have 56 drones. Gonna have a tough time remaxing. I feel like the goal of that for DRG attacking in there was to get into lurkers, but he actually doesn't have the lurker den done yet. His hive isn't done yet. So it feels like that was a little bit premature. Now he's got to build a bunch of roaches while we already have hydras on the way out for Dark. Although his lurker den wasn't done yet either, so I guess neither player is going to have lurkers in the next minute or two. And they won't have their upgrades for a long time. Those burrowed roaches, I don't actually know what happened to them during all of that. But Dark is going for his own burrow. And here we go. The hydras are starting to take down some of these overlords. The DRG has enough to not get supply blocked immediately, but as I say that, he is supply blocked now. Dark's going to try to push in here. I don't think that's really going to work, though. DRG has a good defensive position, very similar to what happened on the other side of the map just a minute ago. But I feel like those hydras just roaming around the map killing overlords here could be really annoying for DRG. Oh, but Dark is going to dive in here, eating some big biles, feeling like he's got it. But he doesn't have it, and he pulls back immediately. The supplies are still pretty much dead even as Dark tries to get out of here. Dark does have a single Viper out for now. Oh, no, he's got 3 Vipers out. Excuse me. As those lurker upgrades start finishing up for both players. See the almighty Hydra Lurker Viper. Ooh, this is really nice. DRG does see it, and I just saw him click up here, so he knows this is coming, but still this Nidus, very annoying to deal with. As the burrowed roaches they're burrowing on both sides. The Nidus gets taken out immediately, but you know, it brings DRG's whole army back. DRG is supply blocked once again. Now Dark's going to get in here with some burrowed roaches. Again, I haven't seen DRG's burrowed roaches really be able to do anything. I don't know if I missed something earlier. Just haven't seen it happen. But all of a sudden, we've got roaches popping up in this base. We have a Nidus going down in the main that DRG, I think, has spotted. But now he's got to focus on the attack at the front. Beautiful blinding clouds and yoinks coming out of Dark. And DRG, his defense is just not quite there. More roaches and ravagers do come over. The Nidus worms getting it taken out in the main. Looks like there wasn't anything in it, but it does distract DRG enough for Dark to get in there and take a nice little fight. And now he's gonna pull on back. Ooh, at the same time though, burrowed roaches from DRG gonna dive out. Oh my god, look at Dark with the burrow micro on the queens. And now he's just gonna try to transfuse this lurker den to keep it alive. Can he keep it alive? How many transfuses are there? It looks like there's enough. The lurker den stays up. Those roaches sacrificing their lives for nothing. In the meantime, Dark pops back out with these roaches. He's going to gun down a few more drones. Another Nidus worm going down in the main base that DRG needs to pay attention to, but I don't think he's spotted this one. Or maybe he just expects there to be nothing in it. As Dark's hitting the front once again. This time there is something in it though, and it's an immediate GG as the lurker pops out. I really think it was just like the one lurker, but DRG just crumbling on all fronts. And that game Man, I liked it for DRG in a lot of ways, but not able to get anything done with those burrowed roaches. And then Dark with the multi-prong. That's actually what won him that game one against Oliveira. Felt very similar, right? Nidus is going down. We had burrowed roaches, lurkers, hitting at the front while distracting with the little harassments. And then just taking little bits of edges here and there. Dark also taking some really fantastic fights in the later stages of that game. It did all start with a bit of a cheeky Zergling rush, though. Lots of lings coming out of Dark. He's able to get the free kill on the third base. Although I feel like after all that was said and done, it wasn't really that bad of a position for DRG. But Dark ends up taking it. We're going to head to game 2 now on Solaris. Starting to feel the sleepy. Starting to feel the sleepy. It's all right. The ZVZ. ZVZs will be over quick, I believe. Some action-packed games. I'm ready for the 12 pools. Question is, are the players ready for the 12 pools? I'm not seeing any. Maybe next game. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Solaris, we have DRG. Dong Regu. Getting into the grand finals. I think this is his first KSL finals. Unfortunately for him, his opponent, pretty good at the game. It is Talon's Dark. Check Liquipedia and see if DRG has made it to a finals before, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, he has. Number 26, DRG, made it to the finals. And in fact, did he beat Dark to get there? He did. Oh, wow. All right. The DRG, the last time he made it to a finals, he ended up losing to Hero, but he beat DRG in the semis, or beat Dark in the semis to get there. So appropriate now that he would have to face Dark this time. Maybe got a little lucky though that Hero, who signed up and checked in for this tournament, unfortunately wasn't able to make it. You hate to see it. Hero giving a chance to somebody else to win. I kind of love the idea that Dark's going to win only when Hero isn't here. If Hero and Dark don't play, Dark wins. But the moment they do, Hero wins. Dark just permanently hoping somebody else takes Hero out. We have a delayed link speed here from Dark. Link speed quite a bit earlier for DRG. Interesting. What's Dark going to do with that? Got 120 gas. What's the play here, Dark? What do we got? You know what? I saw him start up Link Speed, and I was like, oh, it's just late? No. He started up Link Speed because he thought that Zergling was going to make it into the main, and he wanted the spawning pool to be jiggling. But he cancels it as soon as that Ling isn't getting there. Dark does not want to be scouted. He does not want it to be known what he's doing. Which is fair, but also, Dark, I would really like to know what you're doing. So, it's going to be a lair. Okay. Lair, Evo Chamber. down on the low ground. I mean, of course it was going to be a lair. But I guess what variety of 2-base roach are we seeing here out of Dark? I like that Dark is keeping it a little bit more fresh, a little bit less standard. I feel like that's a good way to take control in a ZVZ. It can be very difficult to deflect and defend all the potential aggression your opponent can throw at you. So DRG going to be in a tough position just by virtue of the way Dark is opening here with much faster tech, much faster roaches. This, though, is really nice for DRG. He's like, you don't have any speedlings out, so I can just force a cancel on this for free. There's actually nothing Dark can do about that right now. It's a dead drone, a canceled third. Actually, the Link's going to try to dive forward here. There's not a ton of transfuse energy for Dark, but there's enough he can hold, especially with roaches popping out. And there are quite a few roaches popping out here. See if Dark decides to just defend with them. I do like a good 2-base roach defensive play. And one thing I will say that I've noticed historically for Dark in this matchup is that his Ling Bane micro can often leave something to be desired. I've seen a lot of games where the Ling Bane phase is very painful for Dark, and even though, you know, he might be able to live and continue on, it's tough if you're eating big Baneling hits. I've seen Dark take quite a few of those, so it's possible that he just wants to skip it however possible. And, I mean, opening 2-base roach like this is a great way to do so. Now, in the meantime, DRG, he took that quicker third. So he's been ahead a bit in terms of the income. Well, not that much. It looks like maybe the drone count was higher for Dark there. He's, I mean, just about even in every other regard, though. However, Dark is going to go into a faster Carapace. He's also going to get that Burrow Tunneling Claws combo, which we saw really come into play for Dark. One little squad of roaches just helping to tear DRG apart at the end of that game. Oh. Sorry, I am fading a little bit right now, hoping for some action in the game. The play-by-play casting helps keep me awake. The replay pack might be a little late tonight for the patrons. I might need to take a nap first. DRG gonna bust down the rocks in the middle of the map. That's interesting. I feel like I don't see rocks getting busted like that in a ZVZ usually. But he wants the ability to attack this base a little more easily. A few Lings sneak in. Might be able to grab a drone, but they're just distracting Dark a little bit. We already have Hydras coming out of DRG. He's getting those Hydra upgrades, so he's going to be on like a Roach Hydra army instead of the Roach Ravagers that Dark has. Of course, those Biles can add a lot of extra punch to this army, but Hydras are just a little bit better in like a straight up fight. Just do a little bit more DPS. They're pretty flimsy as well, so you got to be really careful with them as DRG. But very interesting for him to just go Roach Hydra. Gonna mix in a few Ravagers now as well. Dark just on the pure Roach Rav. It should mean Dark is able to just have more units out. But again, those Hydras are just a bit better than Roaches, right? So they can add quite a bit of DPS on the backside. And with their off-creep speed upgrade that they got in, I don't know, a couple patches ago, they're actually, they move really well with the army. For a while, that was why you wouldn't want them with a ZVZ army like this, but Well, Dark getting caught out a little bit here. Going to be forced to take a fight, but as he gathers his Roaches and Ravagers, he decides to turn around and fight it out. But now he's a little bit split. DRG just poking and prodding. In the meantime, taking the fourth with the Rich Vespian Geyser. Dark's fourth is nearly done. Dark also, he's up that Carapace upgrade, so he's got the one full upgrade ahead. But it looks like it's DRG that's a little bit quicker into the Hive. I don't think we have an Infestation Pit for Dark just yet. Dark's out on the map, looking for something here, but he's going to find the army, and he's going to find a Concave, and that's not what you're looking for here as Dark. Concave beats Convex, and Dark in that situation was the Convex Mirror. But he's going to keep poking, dropping those biles, forcing DRG to micro against it. Man, we're getting a little more lag. We hate to see that. Whew. Big biles landing on Dark for that moment, though. Actually, running into his own biles, too. I'm surprised Dark is sticking around and really fighting this out. The faster reinforcements for DRG is going to make this even harder to fight against. Oh, free Roach. All right, Dark decides to pull back. I don't know if he saw this army on the other side, but DRG's trying to come in. He's going to try to push in on both sides. Dark, though, pretty well prepared for it. Ooh, but does Dark have enough on the top side? It looks like the Roaches and Hydras might be enough to overrun here. As DRG is pushing in, Dark reinforcing with some more Roaches. Is it too late? Can he get on top of this? Some biles hitting Dark, finally dodging those biles. But now DRG has some Roaches coming from the top side as well. He's going to try to gun down the Ravagers with that little squad of Roaches. What fantastic focus fire. Dark does have the closer reinforcements, but it doesn't matter. DRG is going to close out that game and tie us up 1-1. GG. All right, DRG says, I'm not going down without a fight. I like that Dark busted out the 2-base Roach again, but DRG forcing to cancel on that third. I feel like he was just in a pretty decent spot after all that. Dark, I thought he was going to go for something like cheekier with the 2-base Roach, but felt pretty straightforward. All right, game 3 is going to be on Hecate. Hopefully we don't have any more lag. We're not really sure who the lag is. The thing about when it's like those little hits of lag like that, you don't really know who it is. Sometimes you can tell if it's you, but sometimes you can't tell if it's you. So hopefully we just can avoid all of that and everybody's internet stands strong. Well, let's hop into game number 3. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Hecate, it is Dong Regu. DRG keeping us even here, keeping us tied up in this best of 5. His opponent going for that 12 pull. It is Talon's Dark. All right. I mean, I feel like if DRG wins this, we got to be getting him on a team, right? DRG currently teamless, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he played for Abydos before this, but currently a teamless Zerg on the verge of winning KSL. I mean, he needs to still win 2 more games before Dark wins 2 more games, but still very impressive for DRG. And, you know, it's funny, we were just talking about players who have done their military service and come back, and talked about DRG a little bit, who hasn't really had any big results since he's been back from his military service. Honestly, DRG wasn't having like a ton of big results before he went for his mandatory military service either. But he has had some strong showings, and I don't know, I feel like winning at KSL, this is a stacked bracket today. Pretty nice. Is this game live? This game is live. It's live right now. Unless you're watching this on YouTube later, in which case it's not live then. But it's live now for those of us that are live right now. Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube later, subscribe. Thanks, guys. Now, Dark's hitting with the lings. He does have a hatch behind this, though. He is not committed to this. But he's got a few more lings showing up. DRG going to pull some drones. Try to save his base. Does lose a drone. Ooh, a few lings pop. And now Dark's just trying to find the value. He shouldn't be able to kill this base. DRG should not let him kill that base. But Dark going to try to take a nice trade here. Maybe kill a couple more drones. As it looks like the lings will get taken out. And actually, I think that ends up being a pretty nice trade for DRG. Yeah, look at that. 8 lings for 4 lings and a drone. Absolutely beautiful. Now Dark's hatch is done. It should be relatively even here, but I still think I like it a little bit more for DRG. Once again, been joined by a kitten. Would you like to say hi to them? No, he does not want to say hi. He's just going to sniff the microphone. All right, so forgive my observing. We're going to go ahead and observe. Use this person's observing. I don't know who this is. Thank you for observing for us, person. Ooh, what's that? That is a Bane nest. 10 lings on the way right now for DRG. And it looks like he's going to be the one getting a bit aggressive here in Game 3 with some lings and banes. I don't think we have a Bane nest for Dark. Nothing done, nothing on the way. So Dark is going to try to avoid the Bane section of this game. And that's what we've seen in the first 2 games. And I do think a lot of this leads back to that Ling Bane micro. It's hard. And Dark, while he's an excellent player, I feel like I've seen him struggle more with Ling Bane micro than with most other stages of any matchup at all. So I like that DRG's kind of taking it to him right now, right? Like, DRG's an OG Zerg, man. He's been around a long time. He's been linging and baning for over a decade. Oh, but Dark's like, all right, I'm going to make you bust through my wall first. Down goes the wall. The lings are getting in. The queen's going to try to hold. One queen gets full surrounded. It's going to get transfused, but it will go down. There's more lings on the way for Dark, though. Can DRG bust through these queens and get some big damage done here? It looks like a couple lings going to sneak through, and that's it. DRG takes game number 3. Dark getting caught off guard, building that wall at the last second, but it was just too low in hit points. The Bane smashed right through. And DRG, man, goes up 2-1. He holds off the 12 pool, taking less damage than his opponent, which is like super good that he traded positively there. And then just straight off the back of that, right into aggression. He was counting on Dark, trying to get back into it by like playing a little fast and loose with things like a Bane nest, right? And it absolutely worked. Dark was trying too hard to catch back up in drones. Didn't anticipate the aggression from DRG, who takes him down. And now we're going into hard lead for game number 4, and it is match point for Dong Regu. I would actually be so sick to have a DRG win here. But it ain't done yet. Dark absolutely has the power to pull it back. Oh, where are you going, bud? He's not like jumping on this chair. He's like, no, I don't want to be on your chair. I want to be on the floor. Free me, human. He's free. He's free as a bird. Speaking of birds, in the upper left-hand corner, picked up by Talon Esports, it is Dark. The bird, Talon, also relates to cats in that I get scratched by his talons all the time. And of course, in the lower right-hand corner, we have Dong Rei Gu, who is, in fact, on match point here in game number 4. This is how we get DRG a team, you know? Get him to win a KSL. Maybe he can go win an EPT Cup. Prove to the people. Prove to those big team organizations that deserving of a team. Now, what we really need is a team that wants to get fully back into StarCraft and put on some events. You know, any of those big orgs out there want to support some StarCraft tournaments, you guys just let me know. You just let me know. We'll make it happen. Happy to organize some events for StarCraft. Or Stormgate. Maybe we need some Stormgate events. I'd actually love to put on a Stormgate tournament. I was hoping to during the open beta, the Steam Next Fest, but didn't get a chance to put anything together, unfortunately. Well, this game looking pretty even so far. Everybody just kind of chilling, macroing. I'll be very interested if Dark like ever puts down a Bane Nest. He put down a Bane Nest in game 1, but he was trying to like bamboozle DRG and didn't really end up using it at all. He did the one Bane drop. That's it from Dark so far. He's been really trying to avoid the Bane Nest. 2-base roaching a lot, but yeah, this game though looks like he's gonna take a normally timed third. So Dark, there are ways to get through the early game without putting down a Bane Nest, but it is quite difficult. So one of the things Dark could do here is build a big round of Lings early, or he just puts down the Bane Nest. All right, yeah, I mean that's fair. But if you build a big round of Lings early and force your opponent to respond with defensive Banes, sometimes you can, during that, get into the Roach Warren, and then by the time they try to attack you with Banes, you could have Roaches on the way out, right? It's a little bit tough to do, but you know, Dark's good enough for it. But that's not what he's looking for this time. This time he's gonna put the Bane Nest right out front, and then he's just gonna hide the Roach Warren in the back. Oops, you didn't scout that, did you, DRG? So Dark, I mean, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's going to go all in, but this is going to be a very committed push with this Roach Warren as early as it is. Plus, that Bane Nest, while it is kind of just for show, he can also morph Banes on the front line. So DRG can't just hold this with pure Ling, right? So that's going to make it a lot harder for DRG to hold if there's just a couple of Banes out there with those Roaches. Now, DRG should get a scout on this fairly early. Of course, he's got good vision of this area. The Ling's even popping in. See what they can see. The issue here for Dark, what I said, oh, he's not really all in. He's kind of all in, though, right? There's no lair. He's on 26 drones. Oh, my God, look at this. Immediately, 2 spines go down for DRG. He knows it's coming. Sees the Roaches coming across the map. But this is where it becomes very difficult. A couple of Banes here for Dark. And DRG, he's got to make those counter Banes. He's got to get some decent connections. One Queen is going to fall. Oh, that Queen stays alive. I mean, it's not going to stay alive for very long here, but might buy a little bit of time. Down she goes. Baneling's crashing forward, but they're dying. The Spine Crawlers might not even get up. This third base feels kind of forfeit, and if Dark's able to get that kill, that could be very tough for DRG. However, DRG has his own Roaches coming out, and he's been up in workers this whole time, so even if he loses that third, he's been mining a lot more, and it could mean a big counterattack could be very, very dangerous for Dark. DRG going to move the Spine Crawlers forward. That third base will fall. And now DRG has kind of a decision to make. Does he just take the third and try to macro? It looks like a big round of Lings is coming out. He's going to take the third and go for some counter aggression. But Dark, I think Dark's kind of waiting for this, right? He wants to get these Lings in. He wants to delay as long as possible. DRG can't let that happen. He just made a big round of units. I feel like he needs to go. but he's deciding just to stay, hold the fort back at home. Dark was forced to build a few more units as well, so despite the fact that Dark has had this third base for a while, he hasn't really been mining with it. He's just now getting up to 40 workers. Still a very good position for Dark, though. Killing that third was huge. The worker count has now flipped to be heavily in Dark's favor. And now where does DRG go? It looks like DRG is just going to build units. That's DRG's plan. We already see his army supply start to jump ahead of his opponents. As Dark is trying to get into a lair, trying to get into +1, he thinks DRG is just macroing, right? He thinks DRG is just retaking that third. He's just going to drone, easy peasy. DRG is walking spine crawlers across the map. This is how all in he is. The spines are coming, dude. Look at it. It's the march of the spines. It's like the march of the Ents. These trees were my friends. All two of them. DRG is just going for it, man. He's just going to dive in. The banelings trying to crash into banelings. They're just kind of rolling through. I don't really know. DRG's still up in supply, but the queens are here to help out. Plus, the closer reinforcements of Dark should help him defend, but the ling reinforcements of DRG hitting at a crucial timing. The spines are going to try to get burrowed. Can they actually get onto creep right now at this third base? I like that DRG's going towards the third. That's kind of the safer route. More banes coming in as well. The drone's getting taken out, but DRG needs more than that. One spine goes down, the other one not getting burrowed. And I think Dark is just going to straight up hold this. Now, a lot of drones died, and DRG has a third. He could just try to macro out of this, but he's down. He doesn't have the lair, right? That's the big thing here. He does have a ton of money, so he can do a lot of stuff. He doesn't have the lair. Dark did cancel his +1, though. So I feel like this is still not the worst position in the world for DRG. These lings are going to catch a few more roaches, and they're going to try to be annoying over here and just kind of keep Dark back. I mean, this is still a better position for Dark, but this is not as bad of a position for DRG as it was at the end of the last attack, I think. Dark doesn't seem to want to do a counterattack here. Oh, in fact, he's going to go up into a spire. So Dark, he knows he has that lair. He's assuming his opponent doesn't. He's absolutely correct. And he's going to try to utilize that tech advantage, go into a spire, and see if he can get something done with some mutas. Restarts up +1, but DRG is ahead on +1 now. DRG's roach speed is going to be a little bit later. That won't matter too much in the roach wars, but what DRG really needs to do is figure out that he's going to be up against mutas. That's really what needs to happen here. Because right now we have no spore crawlers or anything. But man, this game is shockingly even. And like the one thing I worry about for Dark is that going for the Spire could give DRG a chance to get back into this game a little bit. Since there's no aggression happening to DRG right now, right? So he's just able to drone freely. He's able to macro freely. And while these mutas are absolutely a threat, I mean, there's not a lot of gas to be had for Dark. So, yes, he's going to have like 6 or 7 mutas, but they're going to be a couple of them are going to be a little late. And that's not super scary. It might be enough to give Dark a bit of an edge, as he should be able to take down all the overlords of DRG. These Ravagers might need to be a little careful. But this still, it doesn't feel like it was worth all the... Maybe it was. Maybe it was worth it. I'm so confused. DRG just leaves. All right, well, I guess it was worth it. Okay. I was just going to say, like, I don't feel like that was worth it for Dark, because if he had just built units, I think he could have out-macroed DRG and straight roach to roach. But because he went for the Spire, the roach counts were very similar. The tech was very similar for the roaches. I did not expect the first five mutas that popped to just end the game, but DRG, I guess, was like, well, he's going to kill my overlords. Maybe he's even able to get some drones. I don't. Maybe he thought he was committing harder to mutas than he was, because it looked like Dark was just going to build 6. But yeah, DRG says, all right, we're done. Game is over. We're going to game 5. That's going to be on Golden Aura. We're going to settle it here once and for all. Who's got the better ZVZ today in this series? Because, you know, it do be fluctuating. That's kind of the cool thing about a game like StarCraft is, like, your skill level is not, it's not one, like, hard thing. It's a range. You have a range of skill levels, which is why we can see upsets. It's why we can see, let's say, a player like DRG here in a grand finals where you wouldn't normally expect him to, because maybe on the range of his skill level, he's playing at the top today. And maybe his opponent isn't quite playing at the top of his. Guess we'll have to find out. Game number 5 in the lower right, we have Talon's Dark. The ace match, the rubber match. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. That's what they mean when they call it the rubber match. You can't balance wine the rubber match because it'll just bounce off. Think about it. It makes sense. No 12 bulls this time. Golden Aura, a bit of a big map here. All right, so last game. What happened last game? Dark, he did go for the Bane Nest, but it was a big 2-base attack from Dark that did enough to put DRG in a pretty awful spot, where he was forced to go for the counterattack. I feel like maybe if those spines had gotten burrowed, you know, maybe the spines were the key. Offensive spines. That's the strategy. You know what's funny? There was a patch not too long ago. Maybe it was like a year and a half ago. Now hatcheries can see all the way to the outside of their creep. I don't know. I kind of loved that there was like just like one hex of creep that the hatch couldn't see. I thought that was fun. Maybe it's just me though. I feel like I guess it's probably not fun if somebody's building spine crawlers in your main base, but you know, it's fun for the viewers. We start to see if anybody wants to do anything cheeky here. We wait for Bane Nests to go down or Evo Chambers and Roach Warrens. And there was a build I used to really like in ZVZ, the +1 Ling Bamboozle build, which was meant to look like a 2-base Roach build. But it involved a hidden Evo chamber in the main to get +1 melee. And then you just mass Zerglings behind your 2-base Roach wall and surprise your opponent with like late Ling speed, +1 melee, and a bunch of Lings. That build was so fun. Stuff like that makes me want to play StarCraft again. Like remembering how fun it was to do builds like that on the ladder. I want to say it wasn't a cheese, but it was definitely a cheese. Tricking your opponent is always a fun moment. It's never fun on the other side of things though. That's the one thing about StarCraft is like so many of the things that feel good in this game only feel good for the player doing it, not for the player receiving it. What are these Lings doing, dude? What are we doing here? They are just freaking out, man. All right, chill, dude, chill. Give me anxiety over here. Now we do have Roach Horns on the way for both players as well. It's funny because both players put them in the back of their mineral line, which I feel like is reserved for when it's a cheeky Roach Warren. But it's not really. That's just what we saw last game, right? Dark put in the back of his mineral line and then he very much all-in his opponent. Well, we're going to see roaches coming out of both players here. Evo chamber for DRG, not yet for Dark. Although, as I say that, he puts it down. Keep an eye on that +1 timing. Honestly, this looks like the most straightforward macro game we've had so far. No real Ling Bane battles either. Neither player going for a big swell of Zerglings at any point. A couple of Banes that have been morphed are just posturing Banelings. Actually, it's literally just the one. It's the only Baneling so far. Who needs anything else? Oh, and you know what? Despite this Evo Chamber being done well before Darks for DRG, he did not start up +1 missile attacks. So he's very late on that, actually. He must have forgotten it, or I don't know, spent that money somewhere else. Maybe he clicked it and it didn't start and he didn't realize. That's the worst. You click the button, you're like, all right, start at +1. And you go back 30 seconds later and you're like, wait a minute. I had +1 started. God damn it. That is one thing I kind of liked about playing Zero Space, was that you could queue stuff up. So it would like, I don't know, if you click the button, when you had the money for it, it would start. And it could be kind of bad for macro, but also very, very handy in cases like that, where you like almost have the money, you click the button, and then it'll just start in like 3 seconds. Very useful. DRG gonna come scout what's going on, see what's happening here. I did see a Dropper Lord morphing. Where was that? Where was that Dropper Lord? There it is. I was gonna pick up some Banes. Dark again gonna go for some cheeky Bane drops on his opponent. Love to see it. Very notably here, we have a Spire on the way for DRG, and that's about to be scouted by Dark. So Dark sees that Spire. It is about to pop, though, so we're not going to have a lot of lead time for the defense. Looks like Dark's going to go for a Burrow and Tunneling Claws here. That Bane drop, there it is. See if this can get anything done. 6 mutas on the way, but they are a little bit late. The Spore Crawler moving. The Queens are here. The drones get pulled. I don't think this Bane drop is going to get anything done. Ooh, 22 hit points. Well, all right. Those Banes are going to drop and do absolutely nothing. At least they got out of there, you know? Oh, we have some Banes in the main dropping as well. This Overlord getting very low. We'll have to pull away. And no drones going down. All right, so Dark trying for some fancy harassment, not quite working out. Now he's got to deal with, what is it, 6 mutas coming in from the other side of the map. The Sioux flock of mutas, if I remember correctly, that was 6 to 8. And it's just the harassment mutas, right? He can kill overlords with this. He can poke at the army. If Dark decides to go for a big fight, they can just do that extra bit of damage. There's nothing Dark can do about it if he moves across the map. So Dark essentially has to wait for Hydras to attack. Even if it's just 6 mutas, they'll do a lot of damage over time to roaches. Because of their glaives bounce, they'll hit a lot of roaches with those bounces, and just makes it a lot easier for DRG to hold with his roaches. Now, I will say the second Evo Chamber here for Dark is going to allow him to get ahead in the upgrades. He's already ahead in that +2. But DRG is going to try to attack him before any further upgrades can finish. The +2 is not done yet, and his base is feeling a little bit vulnerable. Bile's going to zone the army back. Oh, actually, Dark says screw it. He dives in on top of the army, eating a lot of Biles to do that. Doesn't care, though. Ooh, maybe he should care a little bit. Dark, you should care a little bit. At the same time, Mute is coming in, but they do get killed and cleaned up. This fight is the more important one. And it looks like Dark will push DRG away. They're actually cleaning up some of these overlords as well. Oh, I love this. Dark then going to burrow the roaches. They actually heal quicker underground. So if you can burrow even just for a couple of seconds, you can get an extra few hit points there. DRG needs to be a bit careful. The closer reinforcements here from Dark are going to make it harder to keep pushing in, right? DRG needs to wait for his units. But at the same time, Dark's trying to hit across the map with some burrowed roaches. DRG, though, fully ready for this. And he is just going to go ahead and clean all of those up. No luck for those boys. Ooh, Dark hitting from multiple angles here. DRG does not want to take this fight. He does not have the good concave, and we know Tasteless told us concave better than convex. The DRG will back up. He knows Tasteless's wisdom. Hydras are on the way out now for DRG. He's heading towards that hive to get towards lurkers. We do see the same thing happening for Dark, as he's getting the Hydra upgrades, the lurker den, and the hive as well. A little bit later to the hive, though, and that is going to allow +3 missile attacks to start up early here for DRG. Oh, but DRG, again, that lurker den feeling a little bit late. Feels like it should already be done when the hive is done. I guess he's maybe more focused on the micro. And, well, with the Hydras out, he's going to go ahead and clean up 3 overlords easy peasy. Supply blocking Dark. Not the end of the world, but annoying. Ooh, Dark trying to send a little hit squad out here. Needs to be careful. He's very close to running into this army. In fact, he's going to get scouted, and he's going to spot this army. He's going to have to back up. Back it up. This is the problem for Dark because he doesn't have those Hydras. There's Overlords still just kind of freely spotting for DRG. I think all the mutas went down earlier. Yeah, so I don't think the mutas really got much done. I feel like they all just died to this. That's 5 kills. This has 1. That's 6. Yes, they didn't really get much done, those mutas, unfortunately, for DRG. However, the roaches are getting something done, forcing a cancel on this 5th base. They're not going to be able to stick around too long, though. Multiplayers just losing roaches willy-nilly here. Dark replacing them with Hydras and Vipers. Similar thing happening on DRG's side. I don't know if DRG has any Vipers. There's a bit of a battle going on here as both players decide to stand and fight. Decent positions on both of them, and they'll trade relatively evenly. Yeah, no Vipers coming out here for DRG. He's just going to replenish on Roach Hydra. In the meantime, Lurkers are starting to morph for Dark. Both players got those upgrades finishing up. DRG definitely needs to get some Vipers out. Vipers are crucial to the late game ZVZ. He's going to dive in with some roaches up here. There is a single lurker and a spine crawler with the queen. At the same time, DRG moving in on this side. I feel like Dark's defensive setup is pretty good. However, 5 lurkers are not morphed yet. They're going to morph and burrow. 2 of them will die, though. Oh, nice yoink there. Dark might need some mobile detection to finish those off. Looks like DRG's going to back up. Let's have some roaches on the bottom side here. He's got to be careful not to get too split. I don't know what these overlords are doing up here. They're just pooping. Relatable. This must be the bathroom. This is DRG's bathroom for the overlords. Supplies again very similar, though Dark has droned up like crazy. So this base is done, and he's up to 80 workers. That does mean his army is going to be fairly significantly smaller, as he's up about 15 workers right now. But it means his mining is going to be kind of killing it. So as they kill each other and remax, it's going to ultimately be better for Dark. Dark is also very far ahead on the upgrades, as his +3 Carapace is almost halfway done. We have no Carapace upgrades for DRG. He finished +3 attack. Oh, no, he did start +1. Okay. So now he's got +2 on the way. There it is. There it is. Okay. DRG's behind in the upgrades, but not that far behind. Not crazy far behind. However, we've entered the late game, and this is where Dark, I feel like, is scariest. If you don't die to whatever timing he does earlier on in the game, which often does happen. The late game Dark is just so terrifying. His ability with these units is almost unparalleled. There's a couple players in the world that might parallel him, but his skill with the Hydra Lurker Viper is it's very good. It's very good. His defensive play is very good as well. So DRG now, it looks like he wants to try to crack him. But I don't know how you do that. How do you crack Dark? It's simple. You just build more Vipers than him. 5-3. Sometimes we get into crazy amounts of Vipers in ZVZ, which is honestly so fun. I love that both players are going for Niduses. Dark's going to drop his Nidus Worm here, but DRG's actually fully ready for it. DRG has his own Nidus Worm, his own Nidus network finishing up. Oh, this Lurker is on hold position. You don't want that Lurker on hold position. DRG trying to take the gold. Dark will just kill that straight up. Dark is going to try to take this upper base. But it looks like DRG is heading that way. And he will just cancel it immediately. Same time, Dark moving in over here, going to get on top of some of these lurkers. DRG will come in and push him away, but a few lurkers going down. Nice yoink on the Overseer there means no detection right now for this army. Dark building 3 more Vipers. He's like, you have more Vipers than me. I don't like that. I'm going to build just enough to have 1 more than you. Good strat. Actually, he's building 5 more. Damn. This is what I'm talking about. He's going to go up to 8 Vipers. That's so many. So many Vipers. Meantime, 12 to 16 Lurkers right now. As DRG decides to move forward. Oh, and he's going to hit before those Vipers are ready. Parasitic Bomb and some yoinks here to get those Vipers in. Dark wants to come in and engage, but he's got to be careful, and this base just finished up. Woo. Parasitic Bomb actually killing 2 of those Vipers of DRG. And the base will die. DRG should be able to get out of there without taking any more damage. Or just kind of chill here for now. Soft zone. Important question from chat. JW wants to know what happens if 2 Vipers pull each other at the same time. They do trade places. It's actually the silliest thing in the world, and I really hope we get to see it. Dark getting in here with some burrowed roaches. They can re-burrow, but of course they're being detected right now. So he's just trying to split up as much as he can. His hatch is really low. That actually could be a cheeky target for Dark at some point. And Dark just trying to get what value he can. He does have a Nidus up here. He could try to reinforce and hit this base while those roaches distracting the main. They will get cleaned up, but there's a little hit squad of 3 roaches down here, or up here. Same time, Dark trying to kill the roaches out here with his lurkers, and he will do that. I love when lurkers miss. Because lurker, it takes time for the spines to travel. If a unit is moving at the edge of the spine range, the lurkers actually won't hit it. It's just kind of funny. A funny little interaction. And it looks like DRG was paying attention, saw that there were more burrowed roaches in the main, made sure to clean up each and every one of them. This Nidus is still here, although not for very long. DRG will take that out, but that is going to cue in Dark to know where a lot of this army is. And oh, we got armies meeting in the middle of the map here. There's weird little groups. Some biles going down, but Dark feels like he can't take that fight right now. He wants to wait for the rest of his units. He's got the lurkers back at home. He's got the Vipers back at home as well. We heard 8 to 10 Vipers. I mean, did I say it or did I say it? Crazy amounts of Vipers. DRG going to dive in, feeling pretty good. He's going to take down the lurkers that were here. But now Dark's coming in from the backside. He's going to drop some blinding clouds immediately. Parasitic bombs going down. We're not seeing any yoinks. I was hoping for some yoinks. There we go. Lurkers getting pulled in. Vipers getting pulled in. But does DRG have enough to actually take these units out? It's hard to say. Dark is diving forward, but there's still another lurker here. Looks like he will clean that one up and send DRG pack. And DRG a little supply blocked right now, but he's got a hit squad down here. He's going to take down that lurker and then put himself in a great spot. He might actually just be able to target this base now. I'd love to see him target the base. Looks like he wants to take a fight against the units instead. Now, Dark has gone down to 46 drones, losing a lot of workers here, but his army is at 150 supply right now. He is 40 supply higher than DRG. That is actually insane. And DRG is trying to just distract him as long as possible and get his army back up to max. There we go. 22 more Hydras on the way. But is it going to be here in time? Dark is pushing right now. Some lurkers show up for DRG, though, and these Hydras cannot stick around with those lurker spines. Roaches can fight in the lurker spines a little bit. Hydras are way too fragile for that. They need some friends. The Knight is just kind of a distraction here, pulling Dark away a little bit. And it looks like as Dark falls back, I think DRG's in a pretty good spot here. The one thing is he needs another base. Kind of tough to take those extra fringe bases on this map, but he really needs this one. Dark has this base finishing up here. This one has died a few times and is coming back online. He's only on 44 drones. He's going to need to drone up more if he wants to get some good mining going. Ooh, Dark trapping himself a little bit. This is Dark's Nidus, though. If that can get up, he can just get out of here. That's what he's going to try to do. Ooh, one lurker left behind. Hold on. There's no detection. Oh, DRG, be careful. Oh, a few Hydras going down right at the end there. Oh, and Dark's in on the other side. Parasitic bombs going down on both sets of Vipers. They have to split, but Dark's army is just straight up stronger here, and he is going to win that fight. And Dark, all of a sudden, up 60 supply. DRG running low on money. But Dark, he's nearly maxed. He's still got that bank going, even on just 44 drones. He's at 150 supply. Taking some fantastic fights in this game. Yeah, 9,000 resources traded. Better for Dark, who, while he's mining worse now, was mining better for a long time as well. So, roughly even mining, much better trades for Dark. And that is why he is up so high in supply, but he needs to utilize it while he has it. And of course, he doesn't know what we know. He doesn't have those numbers on his screen. He doesn't necessarily know that he is just up 60 supply and could probably march across the map with everything and just win it. It's a scary thing for DRG. DRG, though, going up. Oh, he's got, it looks like so many lurkers. Dark has 21 lurkers. Oh, no, and DRG's going to dive forward. He doesn't realize how many lurkers are here. There's so many. There are too many. Oh, I don't think DRG makes it. Yoinks going down. Every lurker getting pulled, and there's the GG. Despite going up 2-1, the underdog, it looked like he could have had it. But Dark says no. Dark says, I don't lose to underdogs, dude. That's not what I do. I lose to the best players in the world, and that's it. And Dark, he does not lose today. It was close. ZVZ, maybe his weakest matchup. But he holds on. GG. Dark wins yet another KSL. And DRG gets himself a second place this week. GG. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching.